people are to my right and 4 are to my left. And that's okay. It's just to say that I sometimes have to remind people, like, hey, can you just, so that's exactly what happened. But I'm saying that to say that, you know, those numbers are really high. I don't know if no one like your mom or your dad, or you haven't had anybody in your life to remind you that that's not necessarily a normal act. It is not normal for women to have so much sex that the numbers are now passing their age. It's cool. It's no judgment. I'm not saying that you're this, that, or the other. What I'm saying is that there's an environment for that to take place, and there are people that you can attract that will entertain the same. But the entire world is not composed of women or people that enjoy having sex at such a frequent rate that they can't even recall the names of all their lovers. That's when you're taking it a little too far. And I'm sorry, but these are the same women that are now becoming spokespersons and giving themselves platforms to talk about sexuality, sexual healing, how to heal one's root chakra, how to heal yourself from sexual drama and pain. But how are you healing yourself if you're still attracting the same stimulus that's put you in that same boat of taking it too far? I'm sorry, you should not be 30 years old and have over 55 lovers. If you do, know that not only do you enjoy sex, but you enjoy it at such a rate that you might not even be able to recall the names of all the lovers that you've entertained. That might not be a problem for you. There's a whole bunch of people that is not a problem for, and that's okay. It's a problem for me because that is not what I consider to be respectable. That is not what I consider to be of value and to be sacred. Something that is sacred is not shared with everyone. Something that is valued is not given away freely. It just isn't. And of course, you know, now in 2016, with all of the social media sites and all of the Tumblrs and all of the Instagrams, these women support each other. Women in pain support one another. I used to wonder why, like, I'll get along with a lot of different females, right? Even I got a sidebar and say, even in doing my little, I did a little blog, a little expose about yoni eggs, and how that is one tool that can be used to heal one's body if they've undergone like extreme hysterectomies or a lot of C-sections, a lot of pain and trauma where they're actually separated from the muscles, you understand? The muscles in their uterine wall. Once that happens, okay, you're gonna need a little bit of extra, maybe external help to feel again. But yoni eggs and yogi, and the thing is, an egg is not necessarily even supposed to be only for your yoni. When did that happen, where everything that's cylindrical shaped is now supposed to be inserted in one's vagina? It's crazy. If your vagina is healthy, then you do not need to be constantly sticking things up it to detox it. Your body is an amazing organism that is self-sustaining, that will heal if you allow it the time to do so. So, if you want to heal your vagina, and if you want to heal your womb, stop stimulating it. Stop over stimulating it. Stop placing objects inside of it that have nothing to do with health and healing. The way in which you heal your body is by diet, is by the things that you allow in it, and is by taking care of yourself. Meaning, you don't allow someone that you meet on a Tuesday to have sex with you a month later if you don't know how they take care of themselves, if you don't know how they wash their testicles, if you don't know what foods they eat or what type of thoughts they entertain. You know, someone said to me the other day, well, that's discrimination to not want to deal with someone with mental ailments. I hear that can be discrimination, but we still have the freedom to entertain things that bring us joy or not. And for me, I'd much rather entertain someone with a physical ailment like a broken foot or or weak shoulders or migraines or anything physical than someone with a mental deficiency. I can't really tell how deep that rabbit hole is going to go. You know, it's even like what I was talking to Asir about the other day. As much as you teach knowledge-based information, we sometimes forget that things that are knowledge-based are going to attract people that are actually not mentally very well, that don't really have a grounding or a sense of themselves. You understand? A lot of women that have had too much sex and that have given away their magic, all they do is talk about being magical. All they do is talk about their vaginas being powerful, because it's like reminding themselves of something that they don't have anymore. So thou doth protest too much. If I constantly talk about how amazing my vagina is and how empowered I am, that's great, but does that really mean that I'm empowering myself? Or am I just talking about feeling empowered, but in actuality, I'm still giving away all of the things that I can be holding on to, or that I can be recycling as a means to figure out how to get better. You can't get better by entertaining the same things that bring you into that space of trauma. You understand? You can't just jump into a place where your vagina is well if you don't sustain from having extreme amounts of sex. And some of these women are having 3 partners a month, because if you're 35, or let's say if you're 40 and you have over 100 partners as a woman, you're having a multitude of sex, and that type of behavior is not normal. Not every young woman should be experiencing that. Young women that are coming into their sexuality, I'm sorry, it is not right to get advice from women that have taken it too far, that have done too much to the point of no return. You can't get it back once you've given it away. All you can do is say, hey, I've given it away, and now what can I do to not only continue this line, but how am I going to stop my daughters from continuing the same cycle, from believing that they're these powerful goddesses, but in actuality, they're women that have forgotten how to respect their bodies. They're women that allow strangers to dote, to just view so much. You know, there's something, it's an ailment when a woman always wants to be sought after. When people at the gym, you know those people at the gym that go to the gym to work out, but their outfits and their makeup are so done, you're like, are you here to sweat, or are you here to also pick up a man? And sometimes things are twofold. Sometimes women are there to look like they're exercising because that's what they want to tell themselves. But in actuality, their whole outfit, their whole uniform, the way in which they're carrying their bodies is to actually attract someone that finds them beautiful for the moment, that reminds them that they're sexy. Whatever happened to being sexy without necessarily having to be naked? These women don't have any guns to their heads. No one is forcing them to open up their labias on Tumblr. Do that. But create a page that doesn't have anything to do with yoga in order to express that. Find your environment that you can express and be these salacious types of females. But what ends up happening is it brings the whole value system down for women. So like myself, who've only been with 2 people, oh gosh, are you kidding me? Do you know how many men, if I entertained them, I would have slept with by now? If I entertained it. But I don't want to entertain someone who's quick to shake someone's hand but not know if their hands have been washed. I'm much more interested in how someone thinks, you understand, than in the way in which someone looks. And people nowadays, they're great convincers. They lie to themselves about themselves. You can lie to yourself about your sense of worth by surrounding yourselves around other women that share similar pain. That's the main thing that keeps me from being like in main girl groups. Not because I don't want to hang out with girls, but because I don't share the same numbers. I don't have the same experiences. I have other experiences, but it's not necessarily through through trauma and through sex. But that doesn't mean that we can't learn from one another. How come women that have had high numbers can't befriend someone that has a lower number like myself?